Reb Nechunya ben Akana said, the verse in Proverbs chapter 14, verse 34 says, "V'chesed le'umim chatos," and the kindness of the nations is a sin. The kindness that the nations of the world do is a sin for Israel. What do you mean? He says, what do we learn this from? We learned this from Mesha, the king of Moab. What did he do, says the Medrash? He gathered all his astrologers together. He says, I need you to explain something to me. Every nation that I go to war with, I defeat them. But anytime I go to war against the Jews, they beat me. What's going on? So they said to him, they had this elder patriarch, his name was Abraham, and at 100 years old, he had a son, and he sacrificed him. And the king says to his astrologers, did he really sacrifice him? And they say, no, no, he didn't sacrifice him completely. He was going to sacrifice him, and then he didn't in the last minute. So he says to them, ha, he brought his son as an offering, but he didn't complete the act. And yet, God makes miracles for him and his children. Ha ha. So if I offer my son and I do complete the act, how much more so will God make even greater miracles for me? And then I can defeat the Jews. So he says, I have a firstborn son who's going to reign after me, but I will sacrifice him, and perhaps I will have an ace. And that's what it means in the verse in 2 Kings chapter 3, verse 27, that he took his firstborn son that would reign beneath him, and he offered him as a burnt offering upon the wall, and there was a great anger against Israel. Why did this bring anger against Israel? So here we look at the comments of Radak, Rabbi David Kimchi. He says the reason that Hashem became angry with Israel is because the king of Moab, though he did not have mercy on his son, he did so because he thought he was acting in accordance with the desire of God, while Israel was rebelling against God every single day. Israel abandoned God for idols, but the idol worshiper is trying to grab onto HaKadosh Baruch Hu, is trying to grab onto the Holy One, blessed is He. So Hashem says, this guy, he doesn't know any better, but he's trying to worship me. You Jews, you should know better. You have the Torah, and yet you abandon me. Even though he's doing something abominable, but I look at his intention, and I see his intention is a good intention. His intention is pure. I accept his intention favorably and against you. It's an indictment against you, Israel. God is almost forgiving of the abominable act of this non-Jew because he was trying to serve Hashem. And I think it's a lesson for us also when we look at others who don't believe or practice exactly like we do, not to look at them as bad people, but to understand they're misguided and to look at people's intentions and say, you know what? They're trying, and God sees the heart. Rachamana liba bai, it says, God desires the heart.